Happy Friday, everybody. Let us get live on Instagram and then we'll get going with our show. There we go. Okay. First things first, I want to remind you about our Mother's Day Bloom Bar that is happening this weekend for all the mothers and cat moms, dog moms, human moms. Even if it's a special woman in your life that has cared for you in a way and nurtured you, celebrate her as a mom and bring her a gift. We have tons of perfect Mother's Day gifts. We have pajamas that are the most comfortable pajamas I've ever had. We have jewelry. We have all kinds of fun things for moms, especially pet lovers. And you can come in and visit us this weekend, spend $30 or more, of course, and get the chance to make a bouquet to take home to the favorite mom in your life. You can do it both days. We will have all the flowers here until supplies last on Sunday. We doubled up on our flowers this year, so we've got a lot more flowers. So hopefully you guys are going to come out in the droves and make some bouquets. We will have vases here. We have everything you need to make a bouquet and take home to a mom, a very special mom, and celebrate her this weekend. Being a mom's no joke. So definitely celebrate the moms in your life. Second, I want you to know my dress today I got from a very cool place out in Summerfield called Blue Nest Mercantile. They are out in Summerfield and just have adorable women's clothing. So another great place to go shopping for the mom in your life. They have great little gifts and all kinds of fun things for mahjong and pickleball and just all kinds of fun things, but they have some really cute clothes. So definitely go out there. I'm really resisting the urge to go back out there tomorrow and pick up more stuff because it was the cutest clothes. So go out there and pay them a visit and tell them that All Pets Considered sent you. Now, without further ado, I decided to do this topic today, one, because it is pest season. This is starting to warm up enough to where fleas and ticks and mosquitoes are starting to be an issue again, unfortunately. It's just the unfortunate part about living in the part of the country that we live in and the climate that we live in. That we're lucky to live in. I love when it gets warm, but I hate pests. But one of the things I think people do not consider is that when you put the top spot or the ingested pill that prevents fleas and ticks from infesting your pet, when you're giving that to your pet, do you consider that those are pesticides? And I think the vast majority of the world would say no. They haven't considered that those are pesticides and probably don't even know that those are pesticides. This is also including those Seresto collars that go around your pet's neck and last for up to 8 months. And that rubber that is around your pet's neck is impregnated with a pesticide. And so not only is it affecting the pet that it's on, because it definitely affects the pet that it's on, but it affects the family that surrounds that pet and hugs that pet and kisses that pet and gives love to that pet. Those pesticides also get passed along to the family. They also get passed along to our environment. So these are all things to consider the impact. Now, medicinal, chemical pesticides like that might have a place in the world for your pet. I don't want to say that they don't have a place in this world. I think that there are pets who spend a great deal of time outside and might have to have those to prevent pests. But if you have an indoor pet, there are some alternatives that you can consider that maybe could work for your pet, if not all the time, maybe most of the time. And you could give your pet a break from those pesticides at times. Something to definitely consider to know that there are natural alternatives. I definitely use natural alternatives. There used to be a time that some of my dogs, I would use a Seresto collar on them. And I will be real honest, a few years ago, we lost one of our dogs a little bit earlier than I would have thought we were going to lose him, to a mouth tumor. He was also a dog that we happened to keep a Seresto collar on all the time. I regret those choices because once I started doing research into resto collars and hearing coincidental stories from other staff members who also were experiencing similar situations with mouth tumors and dogs that had resto collars, it started to feel like maybe we were onto something. And it just was something that struck a nerve with me that there were natural ways to prevent these infestations instead of having to go the pesticide route. So I started doing more research. We pulled all of the pharmaceutical flea and tick preventions from our stores. So we do not sell any of those. If you find yourself in need of those, my belief is you also need a vet to direct you on proper usage and on any of the side effects you should look out for, because they can cause seizures. They're known to cause some other things. We were also seeing a lot of skin irritations with the pesticide. So we just made the decision to say goodbye to all of that. Yes, you can still buy it, and yes, you may still decide to go that route because your pet needs it, and I understand. We all have to make decisions based on what our own pets need. But one of the things that started to concern me when I started doing research after Samson had his mouth tumor is that 1 in 4 dogs will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. And that chance increases after they're 10 years old to 1 in 2. You have a 50% chance as a dog over the age of 10 years old being diagnosed with cancer. Cats, it's 1 in 5 chance. And again, that chance doubles over the age of 10. Lymphoma in dogs is ironically one of the largest, or is the number one cancer diagnosed in dogs. And I have some friends who have a dog that just got diagnosed with lymphoma. It's very common in dogs. Lymph system is very connected to the immune system. And, all of these pesticides get in our digestive system, they get into our brains, they're neurotoxic, and we know that about them. They're neurotoxic because they're neurotoxic to the pests that they're intended to kill. They attack their neurological system. So we know that about these chemicals. So how do you prevent these things naturally? You can't use just one method. That's very important for you to hear when I'm showing you all of these different methods. Do not use just one as a solution. You have to use more than one, maybe even 2 or 3 paired together in order to get your best results. That is one of the biggest misunderstandings when it comes to natural care. Somebody will say, well, I tried the herbal collar and my cat still got fleas. You can't do just the herbal collar alone. It's a multifaceted approach to this pest control. It starts with a really good diet. You want to make sure that you're feeding your pet a species appropriate diet. You want to make sure you're feeding them a premium diet. And you want to make sure they're staying as healthy as they can, have the best immune system as possible, because that's going to make them less attractive to fleas and ticks and pests. But there are other ways to repel them as well. So we're going to go over everything. I'm trying to decide where we're going to start. We'll start at the easiest way. So we're really all familiar with top spot and collars. This is earth animal, top spot, and collars. These are herbal. And like I've said, don't do just one, do both together. The 2 of these together will be great. But when you add in this internal powder, you have much better. So this helps repel the fleas and ticks from the inside out, and this helps repel them on the outside. So pairing these things is the key. So these are herbal. They just smell herbal when you put them on your pet. And each pack comes with, this comes with collar, and this comes with 3 top spot applications. And the collar you just cut down for the size of your pet. It does have a fairly strong herbal smell, maybe like cloves is the best way to describe it. But that's what the active ingredients are, is the herbal oils that help repel fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes. If you can't do the powder, they also have a daily herbal drop. that is also a potential, again, helping to repel from the inside outward and help to balance the inside to make them less attractive to pets. We have lots of different internal products. We also have this Core Pet Herbal Defense. And again, it's natural protection from the inside out. It's the whole point of that. But don't just rely on one method. You definitely want to do more than one. This is Earth Animals Herbal Topical Powder, and it eliminates fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes. And you can put this right on the pet, and it's limestone and silica. And then it also has cedar wood oil and peppermint oil. But you can put this on the pet, you can put it on their bedding. And again, it helps to kill and to repel. And in that same vein, limestone is great, but diatomaceous earth, if you've ever heard of diatomaceous earth, it is a fossil powder. So take a fossil, they grind it up, and it has these really sharp edges. And those sharp edges cut the outside, the exoskeleton of the flea or the tick, and help dehydrate it, and that's how it kills them. This is also great to add into your pet's food. It also helps with parasites. Again, kind of working much the same way. It's so sharp, it's not sharp to your pet. It's not sharp at all internally because it's food grade diatomaceous earth, but it's sharp enough to the parasites or to the fleas and ticks to kill them. So it's great. We love diatomaceous earth. We have this size available, and there's also a 16 ounce by our friends at Solutions, but diatomaceous earth is really good. You can also dust it on your pet or dust it on their bedding to do exactly the same thing. My only thing that I would warn you about with this is it is dusty. And so when you're putting it on, just make sure you're not inhaling it, or you maybe wear a mask because that same powder that is nice and sharp to those pests can get inhaled into your lungs and kind of irritate your lungs. So it's not going to hurt you long term, but definitely something to consider if you don't want to be coughing up a little bit and have irritated bronchial tubes. So diatomaceous earth, you can sprinkle it on your pet. You can your pet can ingest it. You can add it to their food. But let me give you a word of warning about diatomaceous earth. There are several forms of diatomaceous earth. Food grade diatomaceous earth is the only thing you should feed or put on your pet. There is diatomaceous earth you can get that's for pool filters. That is not safe for pet ingestion or topical use on pets. You only want food grade. So be careful when you're purchasing diatomaceous earth. Make sure you know what you're getting, because I like people to understand, like, diatomaceous earth can be used in all different formats in gardening, all different kinds of ways. Make sure you're getting food grade diatomaceous earth to use with your pets. And like I said, if you buy it here, you know it's safe. Okay. Then you have spray. This is a nice flea, tick, and mosquito repellent by our friends at Wonderside. You can spritz yourself with this too. But my recommendation in using this is great to go with these things or to go with an internal powder and a collar. Spritz this on them before you go out for a walk or a hike. This is a great way to repel all the pests for both you and your pet. Spritz it on yourself too. It comes in several different flavors. This is their rosemary scent, but it's not non-toxic to your pet, non-toxic to you, and a great, safe, environmentally friendly way to repel the pest. So think of this as like a natural version of off. Same thing. It's just very natural and very safe to apply to both you and your pets. And if you spritz it on them a couple times a week, then it should help repel more pests. Another way to repel the pest in your yard is to spray your yard with the flea and tick spray. We have lots of different versions. We have Wonderside, which is what I'm holding here, and this comes with the little hose attachment. So you just spray it on your bushes and spray it in your yard just to help get to the fleas and ticks and mosquitoes where they're living, especially bushes and shrubs. And for fleas and ticks, it's going to be down in the grass or maybe even up in the trees. That's where ticks like to hide. We do have refills for this that you can purchase from here, the concentrate to put back down in this. We have Vet's Best yard spray, and I think we also have Scout's Honor yard spray. But they're all similar in nature, just the makeup concentration of their active ingredients is what's going to differ. But this is great. I've used this before. I'm going to use it again this summer. You do have to apply it again fairly often, and this just being one of your layers of defense. So know that just one layer is not going to do it, but if you layer your defense, you're going to be much more successful. But I believe that you need to do this just about 2 feet off the ground. So the ground up to 2 feet, you want to spray, and then you need to respray every 30 to 45 days for good control. But it's very easy to apply. I would apply it on a dry day so you're not fighting the rain, so you give time for it to dry on the plants that you're spraying. One more flea, tick, and mosquito repellent. This is an ultrasonic tickless collar tag. And so you hang this on your pet's collar, and it makes an ultrasonic noise that we can't hear, but that the pests you're trying to repel can hear, and it will repel them from your pet. We have lots of customers who believe in these. And the nice thing about this one in particular is it's plastic neutral. So don't be worried about that plastic. It does biodegrade, which is pretty cool. So you're not harming the environment by purchasing something plastic and putting it on your pet's collar. It is 100% biodegradable, and the operating range is within 5 feet. The battery is promised to last for at least 6 months. So one tag should do you per year. But this is a nice chemical free, and if you're sensitive to some of these herbal oils, this might be a good option for you to help repel the pest from your pets. Going to be a little tongue twisty for me, but again, it's nice because if I know some people are sensitive to clove oil and things like that, or even cedar wood, so this is a great alternative for the pets in your home, perhaps. Okay, heartworm prevention. We're going to have a conversation about heartworm prevention. And I understand heartworms are endemic in our area. I understand they're a big deal. I understand getting rid of them is not great. I do rescue, so I see the vast amount of dogs that come in heartworm positive. I do understand. Once you begin to understand how heartworms are contracted by dogs, you begin to understand ways that you can more naturally prevent it and even naturally treat it. But we won't go into that right now. We're just going to talk about naturally preventing heartworms, because that heartworm prevention you're giving your pet every 30 days is a pesticide. So again, what are some alternatives that we can do to lighten the load of pesticides on our pets? Well, we have products called, this one is No More Worms. And unfortunately, the other one that I wanted to talk about today, our truck is delayed and we're out of stock of it right now, but it is coming on tomorrow's truck. But it's Bioforensic Solutions, and it's called Parasite Free. So the product, the specific active ingredient you really want to look for is black walnut hulls. That helps kill the microfilaria and helps prevent adult heartworm infestation in your pet. So this No More Worms does have black walnut hulls, as does the Solutions Parasite Free. So these definitely have to be used in a different method. Like I said, again, we have to work on a multi-layer barrier. We don't just have one and set it and forget it. That is what pesticides do. You can give a pesticide every month, and it is set it and forget it. And that's why it's very attractive to people, because they don't have to work as hard. However, there are consequences, can be consequences. So these are drops that you put in your pet's food, and you're going to put them in daily. So you're going to administer them orally, and you want to use them twice daily. And on the back, it shows the weight and the amount of drops you need to give for using No More Worms. This also really helps with parasite prevention as well, in addition to just heartworms. So No More Worms or Parasite Free by our friends at Solutions. Again, a natural alternative, especially for those pets who maybe are sensitive to the pesticides. Maybe you have a dog that's prone to seizures and they're having seizures on the pesticide-based treatments. You can switch to something a little bit more natural, a lot more natural. Okay, so we're kind of done with fleas and ticks and mosquitoes. But I wanted to talk about a few other things because your home has pests too. And those little fruit flies that get everywhere that are really annoying and flying everywhere, we have some great solutions for those. So our friends from Wonderside have this fruit fly trap, and you press to open it on the top, and it just opens and vents it, and then it attracts the fruit flies. Smells kind of, it has apple cider vinegar in it. I was going to say it smells like apple cider vinegar, but that's because that's what it has in there. It has a few other ingredients that attract the fruit flies. And then the fruit flies go in, they get trapped in there, and they die. So this is lovely to have in a corner of your home if you don't have a plug. But I'm going to tell you one of the best things in the world to keep in your kitchen, plugged in near your fruit bowl, is Wonderside's flying insect trap. This traps more than just fruit flies. It attracts flies, maybe moths that have gotten caught in your house. I know with my dogs coming and going from the door, we get flies in the house. This catches flies, those black fruit flies, all kinds of stuff. So the way that it works, it has a blue light. So when you plug it in, it lights up blue, and it has a second insert. Not the best pictures, but it has a second insert that's blue that has sticky on it on either side. So you peel the sticker covering off on both sides, and then you set it on the trap, like inside the trap, and then the blue light attracts those flying insects, and then they get attracted to the sticky, and they stick to it and die. And then it gets all covered up with these little black fruit flies, and then you put a replacement sticky trap in it, and we sell the replacement sticky traps too. So this is an awesome little invention for your kitchen or bathroom or by the door, wherever you want to plug it in. It is great. I have one of these in my kitchen. I love it. I can't live without it. In fact, the other night I realized I didn't have any replacement traps. It was like 7:30. I was like, I got to go back to the store tonight. I got to have that because I can't stand those little fruit flies. So, Wonderside fruit fly trap, or flying insect trap, really. And then we have some other products from our friends at Wonderside that are more universal for more than just your pet. This is a mosquito and fly indoor outdoor spray. So you can use this if you're going to be sitting on your back patio. You can use this to spray all the bushes around your back patio and kind of around the air just to help repel. And you can do it inside too if you're having a particular problem with flies, maybe around your door, but it's an all-natural, non-toxic product by our friends at Wonderside. And it does kill on contact, and it is powered by plants. We also have their wasp and hornet control. And those little nasty critters are coming out. And if you're like me, those ground bees, we had a ground bee nest in our backyard, and poor Aurora Rose a couple of years ago, I didn't realize that she had been stung. She came in and was digging at her nose and digging at her nose. I could not figure out what was wrong. Looked at her 5 minutes later, and it was entertaining, but she had swelled up in hives so badly. She was miserable, but she had gotten stung by a ground bee. And so we had to go out and kill the hive. Mole also got popped a couple of times as well. So they both have scars to tell the story. But this wasp and hornet spray is a nice natural way. It's safe around pets and people, so you know you're not going to be harming your pets by delivering the bad news to the wasp and hornet nest. And then, last but definitely not least, it's ant and roach. I'm not really talking about the roach, but those little teeny tiny ants that get in your house. This is a great spray for in between any kind of treatment that you might have. And again, those are pesticides. So consider, do you really want to have those treatments? How bad is your ant problem? Can you just handle it with a natural product? And this is an ant and roach spray. It's kids and pets safe for all ages. And it's powered by plants, and it kills on contact. And I keep this underneath my sink in the kitchen. So anytime we have little ants that are trying to march right in, I grab this. Often I'll spray it on the threshold of our back door because that's where they like to come in a lot, or on my countertops to try to keep them at bay, keep them away. But these Wondercide sprays, these home sprays are awesome too. So we have those in stock as well. And you can go on our website and find all of these products. If you're looking for products specifically for your pet, we have a flea and tick section, and you can go to that section. You can find all of these treatments. You can also find shampoos, because we do have flea and tick shampoos that help both to kill and to repel. And then all of these different products, the various products I've talked about, are all on that website. If you're looking for the home products like the yard spray and these mosquito and fly sprays and the Wondercide trap, if you're looking for those, you can go under home. There is a section that says home and lifestyle, and there is a section for yard. And you can definitely find these preventions or products, spray products for your home under that category. So there you go. If you have any questions, I'll stay here for a second and answer any of your questions. But I really wanted to do this because I have been speaking to a lot of people and a lot of groups recently about this. And I started to realize how many people were unaware that flea and tick prevention and heartworm prevention, one, so many people didn't realize it was pesticides. They just had no idea. They never questioned it. They never had an idea. But then two, they didn't have an idea that there was an alternative. And I wanted them to know that there are alternatives. Even if you do these other alternatives during slower times and you lean in on the pesticides during the summertime, if you have to, that way you're really lessening the exposure for your pet. And while I know that pesticides are not 100% of the cancer causing agents out there for our pets, that cancer rate has dramatically increased in recent years. And so every single bit of carcinogenic effect we can take away and unburden our pets, the better we will be, the better our pets will be. And so these are some ways that you can do that. You know better than anybody what your pet needs and what their exposure is going to be to out of doors. I will say firmly that I have not used anything but natural flea prevention in years. I occasionally use heartworm prevention in the summer months when it's a little bit warmer. I will occasionally use it, but I do use the natural alternative the rest of the year, and only use the prevention like Heart Guard, one of the basic preventions. I only use that in the summertime, one of the older ones. So tried and true, and a little bit more gentle on the system so that if you have to use it, it's there. So there you go, guys. Everybody knows their own pets the best. I can tell you what works for my pet. I want you to choose and be informed about what's going to work best for your pet. But I wanted you to know about the alternatives because I'm starting to realize how many people didn't realize there was any alternative. And there are tons of alternatives, as you see. But I want your biggest takeaway to be you need to layer the defense mechanisms. You need to layer that barrier. You can't rely upon just one defense when you're using natural products. You definitely need to layer them. Use more than one. And 2 or 3 is better. You can't go wrong with that. So there you go. Thanks, Marty, for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us and listening. Y'all have definitely been on here in bukus. I've seen lots of numbers. And I appreciate all of you guys listening and hope you'll come in and shop with us this weekend. Share this information with your neighbor. You never know who needs to hear it. I have been shocked at how many people did not know. So that's why here we are. And we hope to see you this weekend celebrating Mother's Day out of our 2 store locations. And again, that's Saturday and Sunday. And then next weekend is our Adopt-A-Palooza at our High Point Road location. So you definitely want to make sure you attend that event. We will have 10 rescue organizations, and we're going to have some local vendors, lots of fun activities. So even if you don't have any room in your home, like I don't have any room in my home for additional pets at this point, but if you don't have room in your home, you can at least come out and support the rescue organizations that are there by doing some really fun activities with your pet and with your kids. And we are going to have a huge auction with a lot of local vendors having donated. Some of our friends from like Mad Splatter, Natty Greens, art barks. We have a lot of really fun auction prizes, and we're going to start the online auction next Friday. So be on the lookout for that so you can bid. Even if you're from out, if you're out of town, maybe you moved away and you're a fan of ours still, you can still participate in this auction. So all of the proceeds from that auction are going to go to benefit the attending rescues of our Adopt-A-Palooza next weekend. So definitely come out and see us. That will be at our High Point Road location in Sedgefield, and it will be from 10 to 2. You will find more information on both of our social media pages, and be sure to join us if you can. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather and celebrate the moms out there in your life. Bye, guys.